What up, G Life? It's your boy MC Shadow back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, check out the playlist. The playlist will have all my videos and their own folders, makes the video you're looking for a lot easier. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. You'll be helping my channel out a lot, get into the algorithm, and I would appreciate it. Now, like the title says, what I wanted to talk about today was white gangs. And what do you mean, Shadow? There ain't no white gangs. My boy, there's white gangs. And you already know right here, I don't like to just come and speak it because anybody could just make up shit and say whatever the hell that they want. So I come and bring evidence, you know what I mean, with a video that I, put together. And these are known facts, you know what I mean? You guys could research this shit up yourself. I never have to make up anything. I already know by me coming on here, I already know that people could just research what I'm saying, you know what I mean? If I'm lying or not, they could just call me out on it. But I come with the facts. Did you guys know that there is more documented gang members in the United States than blacks and Hispanics? I bet y'all didn't know that, huh? Yes, there is more white gang members than there is Hispanics and blacks. Ah, you full of shit, you bullshitting, lying ass fool. You can believe what you want, my boy. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, we'll let the video play as we talk about it. Like we have right here a list of just these are outlaw biker gangs, motorcycle gangs, like the Hells Angels, the Rebels, the Bandidos, the Pagans, and etc. Massive gangs, you know what I mean, spread out, throughout the United States. People don't understand that the United States is one of the largest countries, you know what I mean? We're so large, it's not even funny, bro. The amount of territory that we have is vast. You could only find Hispanics and blacks in certain areas. You know what I mean? And although all you see around your place is pure Hispanics, everywhere else in the United States, my boy, you're like a unicorn, bro. There's nothing but pure whites, homie. You know what I mean? And these individuals, although they plasterize blacks and Hispanics throughout the news, media, and you see, that we get all the shits for it. In these other locations, crime is being committed by white people, you know what I mean? And they're battling with other white gangs, you know what I mean? Because these gangs don't get along with each other. So you see them, fighting and all kinds of shit. Drug sales as well, prostitution. Everything that a Hispanic and a black gang do, white gangs do as well. No different, you know what I mean? Except, adding the racism to it, and, But it, essentially it's the same thing, nicknames, graffiti as well. Not as much though, not as much. And everything else. You know what I'm saying? And if you take a look, because you know how the title says, what do you mean that they started this gangster shit? If you look at the roots of where this group of individuals that give themselves a name and that rebel against the government and are breaking the law and etc., was originated from white people. You know what I mean? And this is not to, blame the whites for this. And this is not to, attack the whites and stuff like that. That is not the purpose of this video. The purpose of the video is to show, the roots of this problem, of this ill behavior that not only affects whites, it affects blacks, it affects Hispanics, it affects Asians, Middle Easterns, Russians, and people throughout the planet. Neglection of your child, my boy. When they feel like they don't belong in the household and they feel like they're being outcast and they look for the streets for comfort. And the only way that these people will feel any kind of, peace of mind or any kind of joy is by causing havoc, making other people feel like how they felt, and nobody ever cared, you know what I mean? To ever ask why or, people want to judge, but never get to understand why these individuals become this way. And it's not something that just affects, like I said, Hispanics. Although the media is always going to push stuff however they want to push it. You know what I mean? However they want to spin it and tell it is how they're going to tell it. You know what I mean? But they don't show anything else like this. And people are thinking like, oh, white gang members, like they probably some weenie guys. These are real individuals that do real things, homie. You know what I mean? I don't know what you guys were envisioning in your head, but from what you can see, they really don't look any different from homeboys. They look like, some hooligans, you know what I mean? That could do damage. They're pretty big, homie. You know what I mean? For people that like to think that, these guys ain't really... My boy, they have weapons as well, and they get pretty big, and they could fight as well. You know what I mean? These guys ain't no lackeys. So when people think about these groups, they're like, it's probably some soft ass food. Like, look at the size of these individuals, bro. Look at the amount of manpower that they have, and that's just a small portion. They also, tattoo themselves as well and have pride in their establishments. You know what I mean? It's no different from any other place, or any other Hispanic gang or a black gang. These individuals, really, have members and were really riding and doing their thing, just like a Hispanic and just like a black neighborhood does. You know what I mean? But see, the media will never show this. You know what I mean? The media is only gonna want to show what they want to show, because one thing that I always say, it's so easy to blame what you guys don't have in common, right? They like to say that it's because they're Hispanic, or it's because they're black, or whatever. The reason that they're outlaws and stuff like that. When in reality, bro, you guys are the same too, but you're not gonna want to point that out. You know what I mean? You're not gonna want to show this shit and show that you guys, are similar. You know what I mean? Because you have an agenda to push. They push hatred between, blacks, whites, Hispanics, when in reality we all have faults. You know what I mean? We all have faults, and you can see that they're the same. You know what I mean? There's a reason why these individuals, ran to the streets and to these groups and stuff like that. Like I said, these individuals don't go into these people's houses and take them. They come willingly because they're being neglected. Being a parent is very important. You know what I mean? And when you choose to not be there for your kid, you know what I mean? Not to be in their lives and stuff like that. This is the outcome that's going to happen, whether you're black, Asian, white, Hispanic. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. You know what I mean? Don't think that this is just a Hispanic problem or a black problem. This fucking problem attacks everybody. You know what I mean? And throughout all over the place. If you were to remove all Hispanics and all blacks from the United States, guess what? You're still going to have a lot of gangs and a lot of gang members, because, like I said, bro, these are the facts, homie. There is more white gang members than there is Hispanic and blacks in the system. There's some places in the United States, my boy, where there's not even no Hispanic and black gang members there. It's pure, their prisons are full of white gang members. Because they are gang members, they belong to a gang, and they're a member of a gang. They're a gang member. You get what I'm saying? They are gangs. Whether Peckerwood, whether Skinhead, whether Nazi Lowrider, whether whatever, you know what I mean? Because they're all different. Don't get them confused. You know what I mean? All these gangs are individual. They beef it with other white gangs. They're not the same, dog. You don't want to confuse them. A Peckerwood for a Skinhead or any of that, dog. They're gonna take offense, just like if you call a Crip or a Blood or another Hispanic for Norteño, or vice versa, or if you confuse them for a different gang, like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? They're all individual gangs, and they have pride in their gangs, and they have them tattooed on themselves and everything, just like Hispanics and just like blacks. There's no difference. You know what I mean? Like I said, this problem affects every race. But for the media to spin it and say that this is just a Hispanic problem or it's just a black problem, it's ridiculous. And people will only choose to believe whatever the hell, because they're not going to want to research this shit themselves. You know what I mean? And like I mean, what, I'm not faking the pictures. The pictures speak for themselves, dog. And all the articles of murder and extortion, racketeering, drug sales, arms sales. I mean, the whole works, bro. Like I said, this problem affects everybody. It's important to be a parent. It's important to be there in your kids' lives. And that's why these bigger companies have to understand that when they're over here complaining about, like, what are these people complaining about? Like, we're having to work 2 jobs and shit, not even being able to be there for your family. That's important too, bro. You know what I mean? But you don't care living, with your 7 houses that you have. You know what I mean? You're not caring that these people are struggling just to make ends meet. What do you think's gonna happen? It creates chaos, bro. Because no matter where you are in the world, people are starving in Africa. People are hungry in Mexico. People are struggling in the United States. They're in the struggle. In Canada, they're struggling. Throughout the whole entire world, you see that people struggle. But guess what? Everywhere around this world, the rich in Mexico, the rich are eating fine. In China, the rich are eating fine. In Canada, the rich are eating fine. In Africa, the rich are eating fine. Their politicians are eating fine. They ain't gotta worry about a meal. They ain't gotta worry about not having electricity, running water, or getting by. But they're people that put them in that seat. They're people that is the reason why they even have these riches. Are over here, struggling just to make ends meet, having to work 2 jobs and shit like that. And for what? For them to pay the mortgage on their 7th house? On their 20th car? Society's funny. It's a game that they play. The reason why problems don't get fixed is because we're still over here fighting for stupid shit like it's the blacks' fault, it's the Hispanics' fault, it's the whites' fault, it's the Democrats, it's the Republicans, it's Canada, it's Korea. They fight for stupid shit. Of course, that's their agenda. You know what I mean? To want to spin it that way. But in reality, this is the problem. That you got to be there for your kids, and to stop fighting and blaming each other, because we're all stuck in this struggle. We all have the same similar problem. You know what I mean? It's not just Hispanics that are fucking shit up or blacks that are fucking shit up. I mean, this shit affects everybody, bro, equally. You know what I mean? Nobody's hands are clean right here. Like I said, they're the ones that started this gangster shit. You know what I mean? Because when they were taking away slavery and everything like that, a lot of these individuals didn't like that. They didn't want that, and started forming these groups, right, to rebel against the government and try to take the law into their own hands, leading up to these people banding together to form their own groups to combat these groups. They got the idea from somewhere, bro. I'm just saying, stop fighting over dumb shit. Because gangs affect everybody, bro. There's not just a Hispanic and a black thing. So you can send all these Mexicans back to Mexico. Or like people say, send these blacks to Africa or whatever. You're still going to have a shitload of gangs, bro. But I'm just saying, Shadow, we are.